Okay. Make the light. Make the light. There's the light. It beeped. All right. So they tell you this at teacher school, Andrea. They say if you wait patiently at the front of the room without making any noise, the class will eventually figure it out and shut up. The people that I paid thousands of dollars at teacher school think that actually happens. See? See? They would have heard what I said if they'd shut up when I first said, let's get going, but they didn't. Thousands of dollars. The class will be quiet if you just wait patiently at the front. Okay. Perhaps you should go back to actually teaching high school before you try to teach other teachers to teach it. But that is beside the point. So, we already know two forms of equations, don't we? What's one of them? Slope-intercept form, which is what? Y equals mx plus b. Now, what do we know about that? M equals slope, which also equals rise over run, which also equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We also know that b equals the y-intercept, which is, of course, also the point 0, y. We also, in slope-intercept form, have x and y, which we can use as coordinates. So if I told you that a line went through 3, 7 with a slope of 5, could you tell me the b? Could you find it? How? What would you do, David? No, you don't need to write it down. Just what would you do? You would put the slope in for m, 3 in where? Where would the 3 go? X. And where would the 7 go? No, David. Y. And that would allow me to find b. Does everybody understand? This point gives me an x and a y. There's an x and a y. That's my m. I could find b. Is everybody cool? Yes. All right. All right. Because Matthew McConaughey is the coolest actor in the world. No. Kevin Hart stole it from Matthew McConaughey from the movie Dazed and Confused, where he gave us the line, because he has just graduated from high school. He's like in his early 20s. I love high school girls because I keep getting older and they stay the same age. All right. Kevin Hart stole it from Matthew McConaughey. If you don't believe me, we will YouTube it later. Okay. Is everybody good with that form and how we can use it? Excellent. Now, I would like to call attention to this, the way it actually looks. In slope-intercept form, y is isolated. Once y is isolated, you automatically know the slope and the y-intercept. Everybody cool? Yeah? Yeah. Excellent. What's the next form that we have? Point slope. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. And we know these are points already on the graph. Yesterday afternoon, I turned on my computer and it took about 15 minutes to open up because it was installing a system update. As you can see, it was very useful. Point's already on the graph. And m is still the slope. And the regular x and the regular y are still coordinates. So it is almost the same as slope-intercept form, isn't it? Right? Okay. The third form we have, and this is the new form. Just waiting. Dip my pen in the green ink. Confuse the surface. It's complicated. General form. And this is the new form. We've used it a lot, but I've never given it a name. General form looks like this. AX plus BY plus C equals 0. Okay? Now please notice, all that is the same X, the same Y. Wake up, computer. I know you can do it. You only cost $4,000. No, but they are stupid expensive. I think they're about $2,000. There's a Y, and there's a constant. Have we seen that before? Is that an X? Is that a Y? Is that a constant? So it's got the same components as everything we've already done, right? But you will notice Y is not isolated, so you cannot get the slope there yet. Everybody with me? Okay, so general form is very easy to recognize. 1, everything on one side. 2, everything equals 0. And 3, A is positive. And 4, no decimals or fractions allowed. If you have all of those things, you have general form. Now, you guys are smart kids. You should have recognized that slope-intercept, point slope, and general form all have the same components. It's like one of those sets of Lego you buy that you can build a fighter jet, a submarine, or a race car out of it. You just put the pieces together in different shapes. Okay? Now, to move shapes around in Lego, you pick them up and put them down. To move shapes or to move things around in math class, we use what? Algebra. Okay? That is, of course, why the mermaid was embarrassed in math class. Joke never gets tired. Her algebra was showing. Algebra, because she's a mermaid. I've done that joke before and nobody laughed, so I'm giving you another chance to laugh at it. I know, right, Amy? Amy, I think you might be being sarcastic. Okay, and now somebody over there is stealing your sarcastic joke because they're over there going, that's a real knee slapper. Now they're going to say, Amy, you stole my knee slapper gag. But we all know that you said it first. That is one for the dinner table. You guys should all use that tonight. Although I don't know if it'll translate well into Punjabi or the other languages. Because what would you... I don't know. What's algae in Punjabi? Exactly. And I bet that there's a different word for bra in Punjabi than there is bra. So algebra wouldn't work in Punjabi. That's the problem with good jokes. They only work in the language they work in. Just like there are probably some Punjabi jokes that wouldn't work in English very well. I love other language cursings. They're so fun. No. Oh, but since my Surface stopped working, we could have taken a moment to work on them. So, guys, what form is that? That is general form. Now, if I were going to graph that, it would be a big pain in the butt, wouldn't it? Because we would have to do a table of values and algebra, and it would be a giant pain, right? But we know that the general form shares the building blocks of this, don't we? And if we have this form, it's super easy to graph, right? We go to B, we count the slope, we connect the dots, right? So, what would I have to do to the blue to make it the green? Pardon? All we have to do is isolate y, yes? Well, let's isolate y. 3x minus 2y plus 8 equals 0. Now, let's pretend you're a moving company. Would you like to move 2 boxes or 1 box? 1 box. Would you rather move 3x and 8 to get y by itself on the left, or would you rather just move y? Of course you would rather just move y, and that's allowed. Y equals mx plus b is the exact same thing as mx plus b equals y. So, when we move that y, what do we get on the left? On the left, plus 8 equals what? Negative 2y. Excellent. Is y positive 2y? Thank you, because we moved it over the line. Whoever said negative. I should have known. Okay. Is y isolated? No, it's partially isolated, right? We haven't closed the gate. It's in prison, but the gate's still open. He could run out. That was the story that my Math 10 teacher used when doing algebra. You've got to fence in the variables. Well, because I was 15, it was like he was 100 years old, just like you guys think I'm 100 years old. But you know my grade 10 math teacher was not 100 years old because my girlfriend had a crush on him. We've already gone over this, David. It's like I don't even talk. Remember? Everybody. My girlfriend Tamara, every time I left math class. How was Mr. Stewart? I tell these stories for a reason. Paul E. Nomials. Of course, that is why you're getting 97%, David. You might not know who my high school girlfriend was in love with, but you know how to move around an equation. And this is not story of Matt Myers' life 10. This is math 10. So you're actually probably better off. Remember, like Mr. Stewart says, that Y is not in jail yet. Mr. Stewart's my grade 10 math teacher that Tamara had a crush on. I don't know. I don't hang out with my teachers. Do you? Although I got to tell you, one time I was at a wedding of my cousin and my grade 8 social studies teacher was there. Not a word of a lie. It's like, Mr. Cooper? And he's like, Matthew Myers. That's me, Mr. Cooper. He's like, you can call me Fred now. I think you're probably graduated. It's like, I am. I'm a teacher even. He's like, really? I wouldn't have thought that. And then sometimes I meet other teachers who are like, that's the right call. When I meet an old teacher. Anyway, back to Mr. Stewart, isolating the variable. How do I get that y completely alone? Put him in solitary confinement. Divide that by 2. Now here is where all of you screw up your algebra.
Oh yeah, we forgot. It's plus 2.
Yeah, we covered that. That was like 10 minutes ago. But all right, buddy. Okay. Now, if I divide the right-hand side by 2, what must I do to the left-hand side? Divide it what by 2? All by 2. So it's 3 over 2x plus 4 equals y. Now, can I graph that in my sleep? Where do I start? At 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what do I do? Up 3. 1, 2, 3. And right 2. And just to make sure, where else should I go? Down 1, 2, 3. And left 2. And there's the line. Now, would I ever not take 1 second to check that I did it right? I wouldn't. Would all of you? Yeah, we wouldn't bother. What is this point right here? 2, 2, 7, yes? Right? 2 is what? X. 7 is what? Y. Is that an X? What's 3 times 2? 6. Is that a Y? What's 2 times 7? 14. 6 minus 14 plus 8. Does that equal 0? Yes. So is this line correct? Yes. Was it worth 1 second to check? If this question was out of 5 marks? Yes. Will any of you? No. Because you want to make sure you finish your test quickly because you get bonus points for finishing first and talking to your friends, right?
Yeah, in our mind.
Of course it's in your mind. Thank you for adding that little bit on there, Amrit.
Yeah, you want to where's the gummy bears? Yeah, you never want them. Still me proof on the first place. Still me
Do you not think I'm keeping score?
No.
You haven't handed out going very
You haven't had that you said like the first week.
Well, what is the currency in the world? Money. If you break the law and you are caught, what do you do? No. You pay a fine. Have some of you done gummy bear worthy things? Have some of you done dishonorable things in this room? So therefore, isn't it possible that gummy bear totals are fluctuating? It is indeed. There is the bell. We will see you back here.
I haven't done anything.
So everyone's cool with how we graph this, yeah? All right, now I want to show you something. This form right here is pretty similar to general form, isn't it? Okay? This is what we call, and I don't write it at the top because it's kind of useless. It doesn't really have a lot of reasons to exist. This is what we call standard form. And it's the exact same as general form, except it's X, Y, and the C is over on its own side. Okay? General form is AX plus BY plus C equals 0. Standard form is AX plus BY equals C. There we go. Okay? Do you think that even though they look different, we do anything different? Do we do anything differently? No, of course not. Now, I have standard form. Now, remember, normally, do I care at all how you would graph this? If I just said graph this equation, would I care how you did it? No. But we're doing notes, so I like to cover all the methods. This time I am saying use slope-intercept. So since I'm asking for slope-intercept, that means I want you to put it into what form? Y equals mx plus b. So that is where I want to end up. That is where I am starting. What must I do? Go. Isolate the y. So, what needs to move? The y or the 3x? The 3x needs to move. When it moves, what happens to it? Pardon me? It becomes negative. So I'm going to have negative 4y equals negative 3x plus 8. Now what? Divide by what? Divide by negative 4. Where? Everywhere. Y equals 2 negatives makes a 3/4 x. 8 divided by negative 4? Negative 2. Now, can I graph that easily? Where do I start? Negative 2, put a dot. Then what? Rise, 1, 2, 3. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that point is 4, 1. What else should I do to make doubly sure? Down, 1, 2, 3, and left, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that point is negative 4, negative 4. What's the final thing I should do to really make sure? Is that an x? Is that a y? Is that an x? Okay. What's that? An x. 4. What can I put there? What's 3 times 4? 12. Is that a y? What's that? So what can I put there? What's 4 times 1? 4. 12 minus 4. Does 12 minus 4 equal 8? So did we do this line right? Yeah, sure, you betcha. Is there any reason to hand me a question wrong in this unit? No, because the graph gives you the x and the y to put back into the equation to make sure you did it right. Next one. What form is that? Just for recognizing purposes. Standard. Excellent. What method do I wish for you to use? No. X and y intercepts, which means I need 0, y, and x 0. Right? So what's going to happen here when I do my y-intercept? What's going to happen to the x? 5x plus 0 equals 10. So 5x equals 10. So what does x equal? 2. Okay, what's my y-intercept? Zero plus 2y equals 10. 2y equals 10. So what is y? 5. So where do I put my first dot? Out at x equals 2. Where do I put my second dot? Up at 5, right? Now, just to make sure, should I go down 5 and right 2? Yep. There's my line. Pick a point on the line. That one. Which is 4. Negative 5. That gives you an x. That gives you a y, correct? Right? So then we check. What's 5 times 4? 20. What's 2 times negative 5? Negative 10. Is 20 minus 10, 10? So did we graph this correctly? Yeah, sure, you betcha. Is everybody Gouda? Nobody is matzah? My punchlines would be so much better if the screen would have moved and I could have just moved on. But no, I got to talk about it now because I have a surface. Okay. Write down an example of the equation of a line in each form. All right, guys, listen to me. We have 4 forms, don't we? Okay. I want you to write an example, which means we're all going to have different answers, aren't we? Okay. So the first one, everybody write a slope intercept. Write me an any equation in slope-intercept form without looking back, any equation of a line that is in slope-intercept form, just write one. You can't do it wrong. I'm testing to see if you know what slope-intercept form is. Who would like to volunteer theirs? Fawaz.
10 equals 1 over 2x plus 5.
Sorry?
10 equals 1 half x plus 5.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have the 10. I would just have a y for slope-intercept form. Everybody cool? That's slope-intercept form. As long as you have y isolated, some coefficient of x, and a constant. Would this be allowed? Y equals the square root of 3x plus 5. The square root of x doesn't exist, really. Or square root of 3 doesn't exist, does it? I can't have a slope of 1.717 blah, 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 blah. So that would not be okay. But would this be okay? 0.3 when it shows up. When it shows up. When it shows up. Would that be okay? Sure. Because that is just 3 over 10 to give me a rise over a run, isn't it? Would, yeah? Mm-hmm. M is the slope. X is a point on the graph. B is the constant, which is the y-intercept, which you get because when the y-intercept appears when x is 0. So the slope, whatever it is, times 0 means that drops out, so y will equal 5. Okay? Would this be okay? 3.5 x. Yes, because that's just 7 over 2x, isn't it? All right, so good. We've covered slope-intercept. Now I want one in point slope. Write me any equation of a line, any line in point slope form. What would it look like? Would anyone like to volunteer? Sydney. Y equals 1/2 x plus 3. That's slope-intercept form.
I did the point slope one first.
Oh, well then give me your point slope one.
I think I'm confused.
You may be. Simran.
Which one is x minus x plus
That's point slope form. Simran, hit me.
y minus 8 equals 3/4 minus 2.
Perfect. How would you graph this black one? Where would you start?
Positive 5.
At positive 5 on the y-axis, then what? Slope. Up 1, right 2, yes? How would you graph this one? You could convert it to slope-intercept. What else could you do? Start at what point? Not -8. Not -2. What's the trick with point slope form? Positive 2 and? No. Positive 8. You would go to 2, 8, and then count your slope, which would be? Up 3 and that way 4. Right? 2, 6, 11. Right? Okay. Third form. General. Give me an example of anything in general. Two x plus 3y 8. equals 0. Excellent. General form. How would you graph it? Could you do a table of values? Yes. Could you convert it to slope-intercept? Okay. And finally, general's ugly cousin, standard form, would be 2x plus 3y equals negative 8. Remember, what's the trick with general and standard? Are you allowed decimals? No. Are you allowed fractions? No. Can you have a negative a? No. Everybody good? Now, Sydney, we are moving on to the exact question you were asking from the homework. Because I put it in there to see if people can figure it out. They usually don't. They usually say they can't do it. And then boom, here's a lesson on it. Even though as soon as we start, you're going to be like, I knew how to do that. So I have this. Y minus 4 equals 2/3 x plus 2. That's what I have. And I want it in general form. What is general form? ax plus by plus c equals 0. Now, what is in point slope form that you do not see in general form? You see a fraction. What else? So you don't like that. What else? What else do you see on the left here that is not here? You can't really answer this wrong, guys. You're just looking. Look at this side and tell me something that is on this side that isn't over here. Okay, stop. Look at me. Is everyone looking at me? Look at me. Okay, everybody got a picture of me in your heads? Okay, now I'm going to hide behind my desk and I'm going to change something about my looks. You tell me what's different.
Glasses.
Okay, so you can all see that in this form, there's no glasses, and in this form, there is glasses, right? Okay, so now look at this form, and look at this form, and find something that may or may not be... Oh, you found it all by yourselves! Yay!
We are so smart.
You are, you guys. If you don't mind my saying, don't let it go to your head. If I ever needed detectives, you would be the clue searchers that I would seek. You guys are just like Scooby-Doo.
Especially Amrit.
Well, no, because Amrit would see the clue, but tell me the exact opposite of what the clue is. Right? There's a fingerprint right there. That's a toe print. You're right, it's a print. Right? And then I would look at him, and you would say, no, it's a fingerprint. No, it's a toe print. No, it's a fingerprint. No, it's a toe print. I don't know. What do you want me to say? All right. So, I also... Oh, they said something mean about me in Punjabi.
No, they said basic value.
Oh. Okay. Usually when that happens. Okay, so I have to get rid of the fraction and I have to get rid of the brackets, yes? How do I get rid of brackets? There's two things I could do, or wait. I could distribute that in here, couldn't I? But then I'm multiplying a fraction. Barf. Who likes doing that? Nobody. So how do I get rid of divided by 3? Multiply by 3. So if I multiply this whole side by 3, what's going to happen to that 3? It's going to go away. And what's going to be left over here? 2 bracket x plus 2. We like that, don't we? And then it's going to be 2x plus 4. Yeah? Yeah. But what did I do here? No. Why was I able to cancel out? Because I multiplied the whole side by 3, right? What then do I have to do to this side? Multiply it by 3 to get what? 3y minus 12. You're on fire today, Amrit. Look at that. You're so smart. The electrical energy from your brain lit the light again. Amazing. Okay, so are we almost to there? Okay, now again, we're going to try this exercise again. What looks different over here than over here?
The equal sign is different. What's the order? Equal sign.
Wait, do that again.
This. Where's Mr. Myers? He's gone. This side has stuff on both sides. This side has stuff only on one side. So what do we have to do to some of these guys to make these guys look like this guy? You got to move stuff. Now, Alex, one of the things on the left is exactly how we want it. One of the things over here is exactly how we want it. Which one? 2x is exactly how we want it because x has to be what? Positive. So will we move x? No. Everything else must move. Why are you making fun of me? So x isn't moving. What else is moving? Everything else, because we have to have nothing on one side. So 2x isn't moving, but 3 is coming over here. What happens? Negative 3y. Then negative 12 is coming over. What happens? Positive what? No, 16, because there was already 4 there. Okay. Mr. Branch, there's somebody strange in the class. Yeah, it's Mr. Myers. Everybody knows that.
How is it 16? Wouldn't it be
David, what's that number right there?
positive 4?
And when that negative 12 comes over here, what does it become? Okay, first of all, Mexicans aren't a race. So that's not racism. I'm getting a student from Mexico. Yes. He told me to Facebook him, but he didn't tell me his Facebook name. So I Googled his Facebook name. There's like 20,000 Juan Pablo Valencias. So I looked at a bunch of pictures to find kids that look like teenagers. Some of them are really ugly and stupid looking. I'm a little worried. And some of them are stunningly handsome and look super cool. I don't want that either because I have an 12-year-old daughter. 11-year-old daughter. 10-year-old daughter? I have no idea how old my daughter is. What year is it? She's 11. She's almost 11. Thanks. Okay, guys. Oh, I thought you were going to get the reference. I'll change it. Mine.
Oh, from Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. But I wasn't saying mine. I was saying guys.
Only one. Only three.
Okay, so, Sydney, this is what you were asking about. You have one form, and I need the other 3. Now, guys, there is no trickery here. There is no mathematical jiggery-pokery. It is just algebra. Does it matter what order you do this in? No, but I would recommend going this first, this second, and standard form third. That's just what I would recommend. So we're going to do that because also that's exactly what Sydney asked about. Point slope intercept. So guys, we're going to do this again. This is point slope form, yes?
Yes.
I want slope intercept form, yes?
Yes.
Slope intercept form is what? Y equals mx plus b. Now, here we go. Is everybody ready? What is different between this blue one and how we want it to end up? There's no brackets. So, if I get rid of the brackets, am I halfway to solving the problem?
Yes.
Excellent. What else must happen that is different between that blue one and this one? The y needs to be isolated. So if I get rid of the brackets and I isolate y, do I have my answer?
Yes.
Right. And is it complicated? No. It's grade 8 algebra, isn't it? Move stuff around. So, what do you want to get rid of first? You want to get rid of brackets? No problem. How would we get rid of divided by 2? Multiply everything by 2. So I'm going to multiply everything by 2. And I'm going to get 2y plus 6 equals negative 1 x minus 1. Now what? Now what?
Both, but you times both by 2.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't change. Oh, I get it now. Okay, never mind.
Now what? Brackets? Okay. 2y plus 6 equals negative x minus 1?
Plus 1.
Plus 1. Excellent. Now what?
Switch them all.
Now, when I am here, I've done almost everything to get general and standard form as well, haven't I?
Yes.
Right? So from there, I'm going to split everything off. What? Because they're inside a bracket. They're grouped together as one thing. Those brackets are messing with you guys.
No brackets.
No brackets!
No.
No, seriously though. That's why. Because all we're doing is getting rid of the divided by 2. Okay? Because this, Sydney, here's another way that might help you. 1/2 x minus 1, forget about the negative. That's really x minus 1 divided by 2, isn't it? Because the 1 multiplies by that and the 2 goes underneath. And then I'd get rid of it by multiplying by 2 and the x minus 1 would still be there. Cool? Okay. So, it's hard to be dynamic when you can't be dynamic.
What's dynamic? Oh my god.
Please search it up on the
It's not even dynamic.
I've never seen this happen.
So now, here is where you guys go wrong. You get to a spot and you feel that you have to finish what you started. Now, if I continue going all the way to slope intercept form from right here, I'm going to need, and I don't recognize right here that something important is happening, you're going to be in trouble. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this for a reason. Now right here, we're trying to get the slope intercept form, yes? So the y has to be by itself, correct? 2y equals negative x plus what? Not 7, minus 5, because that's got to come over, right? Now y? Y equals negative, what's in front there? 1, negative 1/2 x minus what? 5/2. How else could I write that? 2.5? 2.5? 2.5? Right? Did I say 1.5?
Yeah.
What an idiot. 2.5. Everybody cool? Now, here's what I'm saying. If you get to here, and then I want 2 more forms, some of you would start working here. Do you need to? No, because right here we were almost at our other 2 forms, weren't we? all I got to do here is fix them up. So general form, ax plus by plus c equals 0. So I need a to be by itself and positive. Is x by itself? Is it positive? No, so the x has to move, doesn't it? So if I want to go into general form, x is moving over. So I'm going to get x plus 2y. What happens to that 1? It moves over and becomes negative. There was 6. So what is it now? Plus 5. What does that equal? 0. And then if I want standard form, what's the only thing that's got to move?
Wait, are they supposed to be negative?
What, David?
The y or the x supposed to be negative, one or the other, because you already moved them over?
No, y never moved. Only x moved over.
Oh.
What's general form? X plus 2y equals negative 5. Now, guys, you need to recognize this. This is the point of this. You need to recognize that, and that are all the same thing. They are just dressed up differently in different algebraic clothes. Okay? They're all the same. If you know one of them and you can move anything around with algebra, you know all 4. Got it? All right. It is quiz time. It is 13 multiple choice questions. You have until 10:30. When you finish your quiz, what should you do? This page.
Page 206.
206.
Yeah.
On your quiz, there is a little tiny box at the top that says assignment score out of 22. What do you write there? Your score from yesterday. I know, Haley, you need to mark it by watching the... I don't know if I put it on the video. Then you should use Sydney's or Brooklyn's or Amy's. What? Are we just waving? Hi, Amy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome possum. All right. I said awesome possum. Because I like to rhyme all the time. Because I'm a badass in front of the class.
Oh, wow.
Even though I'm white, my rhymes are tight. And they are all right all through the night. I'll be appearing here, not there, until... Damn it, I screwed up. I can't do it.
Are you trying to write a poem or trying to... Wait, you got Mr. Myers.
This font, in case anyone cares, is Thunderstrike.
Mr. Myers.
Yo.
You have 2 reviews, and is the first review 214?
Huh?
Is the first
It doesn't matter, because the first thing you're going to do is work on page 206. So I don't have to answer questions from page 206 when you're doing your review. Why? X, Y. I love covered bridge chips, but I hate barbecue chips. Come on, you guys. I don't believe it. Go. Diddly-o. Remember, name and score. Like moose and squirrel. Oh, I'm still recording. What a moron. I recorded my whole rap. Hmm? Oh, yeah.